What's going on, everybody? I'm Terrence, and this is Bank Shipping. Good morning, good morning. I hope everybody had a good weekend this weekend. Good and safe weekend. I had a pretty good weekend myself. Got a lot of things done that I've been kind of pushing off. So that was good. And now it's Monday and we're back at it. We were supposed to have a load that was going to Maryland this morning, and I was going to drop that, and I had found another load up in Pennsylvania that was going back towards home. So we were going to drop, the load in Maryland, come pick this load up in Pennsylvania and drop that back in Maryland on the way home. But things didn't work out because of the snow that we got last week, and then they were calling for more snow this morning. The job site that I was supposed to go to in Maryland didn't want the product, so they postponed that load, but I still had this load up in Pennsylvania to get, so I ended up having to deadhead to get up here to pick this load up and take it back to Maryland. So things happen. Am I happy about it? No. I wanted to turn 2 loads today. But things happen. It is what it is. No sense in being mad about it. And what they say, no sense in crying over spoiled milk. We'll just run this load and keep at it. So we just got here to the pickup location. So I'm gonna go in here and check in and see what we're getting. We're supposed to be getting some slabs of quartz there. So we're gonna go in, see how everything's going to fit, and talk to these guys in here, and I'll get back with y'all. Here's my load. Had to call the broker real quick and verify, because when I first booked the load, they told me it was like 3 or 4 of these. So I thought, there was going to be, they said it was going to be on a provided A-frame. So I thought there would be, 2 on each A-frame and have 2 A-frames, because it was supposed to take up a majority of my deck space. But after calling and confirming with the broker, the customer, and these guys here, the shipper, it's only 1 slab. So makes it easy, 3 straps. Put some felt pieces up there underneath the straps to kind of protect the strap and protect the product. It's just some pieces I got from actually one of my customers. They have this to protect your tarp when you put over the metal, because it can be some sharp edges on that metal when you tarp. So you can put that over top and the metal product, and that'll keep you from poking through your tarps and everything. So anytime I get some, I normally keep a couple with me in my truck, just for things like this, because I got square edge protectors also, but kind of protect the product. You don't want to really put that plastic stuff on top of that, and it probably wouldn't work too well since this quartz is just, I think it's like an inch thick, you know. So these came in handy, worked out great. Like I said, verified, it's only one piece, so we're looking at 900 pounds. That's with the A-frame included. So threw my straps on. Now let's head to Maryland. I think we'll probably run into some snow on the way down there, so we'll just have to see what happens, and might have to take it easy. So I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, guys, so we have battled the snow, we've battled the sleet, and then some rain. Now it started to clear up, and ironically enough, we've hit the most traffic when it started to clear up. So I don't really know what this is all about. Got the CB on, and people are talking, but nobody's really saying what's going on. So I guess we'll just have to figure that out whenever we get up here. It could be some snow plows or something like that. Not too sure, but hopefully this camera angle is pretty good. I got it on my head again because, you know, me being forgetful, I still haven't bought my dash cam mount or whatever, the windshield mount. And last time when I did this, it was kind of over towards the A-pillar over here, and that's because I kind of tend to lean to my left when I'm driving. So tried to tilt the camera to the side a little bit more to the right to kind of compensate for that. So hopefully hopefully this will work out. But we're not too far from our drop off. I think we're about 15 or so minutes, depending on what this traffic is going to do. So I figured I'd go ahead and throw the camera on. And I hate that my radio does that every time I get a phone call, and even if my music is on pause, if somebody calls me and I don't answer, the music automatically turns back on. So that's kind of annoying sometimes. But anyway. Eastbound, just east of the 68 there, you got two four-wheelers crashing past, about a mile past the 68. I'm not going eastbound, I'm going west, so that don't do me any good. But anyway, figured I'd put the camera on and talk a little bit. And one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about was I see a lot of people, you know, doing the whole leasing on owner-operators. So I figured, you know, coming from a standpoint that I do have a leased on owner-operator, I figured it was something I could talk about. And of course, you know, when I talk about it, I'm gonna keep it, you know, as real as possible. You know, a lot of people think that having an owner-operator is going to make you more money. So it may make you a little bit more money, but majority of the time it's probably not going to make you the amount of money that you think it's going to if you have high expectations. And then on top of that, you have a whole risk benefit factor where a lot of times the risk of having an owner operator can severely outweigh the benefits. You know, and the same can go for a company driver. You know, if you have your own truck and you decide to put a driver in it, you know, there's some different things that come with that. Of course, you know, you're paying for maintenance and fuel and payroll and all that stuff. Whereas if you have an owner operator, it seems like a sweet deal because you don't have to put all of that money out for vehicle repairs, vehicle upkeep, you know, if you got to buy new equipment or fuel costs and things like that. Because essentially when you lease on somebody, they take care of all that themselves. Now, different companies have different incentives. You know, some may pay your insurance, some may make you pay your insurance. Some may give you a fuel card and, you know, pay a little bit towards that fuel card. Some may not. Some may give you a daily per diem, some may give you a weekly per diem. And then when it comes to the percentage, there's different percentages that these companies take out of a leased owner operator. You know, I've seen everywhere from 10-15% all the way up to 35-40%. You know, before you guys say I would never drive for a company that took 35-40% of my load, you know, I probably wouldn't either. But you never know somebody's situation. Maybe they're just trying to use that company as a stepping stone, and getting that 40% or 35% taken out, they can still live off of what they have left in order to maybe branch out on their own. A lot of people do use being an owner operator, or leased on owner operator, as a stepping stone, because you can basically get the equipment, jump in the business without really knowing a lot about the business, you know, because you don't really have to know the business aspect of it. Of course, you got to know, you know, your accounting aspect and make sure you're not getting screwed by your lease company. But as far as the everyday, day-to-day, behind-the-scenes activity of a trucking company, you don't necessarily need to know all that, because essentially all you're doing is driving and getting paid. So in that sense, a lot of people, you know, use it as a stepping stone. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's also nothing wrong with, you know, people who lease onto a company as an owner operator and stay there. You know, I know guys who have been leased onto the same company for 15, 20 plus years because they like where they're at. They have no aspirations to actually run their own business. They just want to drive. So that works too. But as a owner, you know, somebody who owns their own company, when you're leasing on an operator or owner operator, you know, you gotta be extremely careful. And the reason I say that is because, you know, you see a lot of people out here that are just, hey, you know, bam, I'm ready to hire an owner operator, leasing on drivers, you know. And that's all fine and dandy, but what you gotta remember is it can be a huge risk, because that one owner operator that you lease on can go out, have an accident, kill themselves or kill a bunch of people, and shut your whole company down. You know, now granted, you can go out and have an accident as the owner and do the same thing, but it's kind of different when you ruin your own company as opposed to somebody who doesn't have as much at stake in the company as what you do. So, you know, that risk factor is huge. You know, when I talk to people and they ask me, what do I think about leasing on an owner operator? And I tell them, you know, do you know this person? You know, how well do you know this person? Do you know if they can drive? Have they been in this before, or are they new? You know, those are all questions
take exit 62
that you kind of want to ask.
South toward Hyattstown.
And the reason you want to ask that is because if you're only taking 20%, you know, we'll just throw a roundabout figure. If you're only taking 20% of a load out of an owner operator, is that 20% going to justify if they ruin your business? A lot of people probably say no. My business is worth way more than that little 20% that I'm going to get off an owner operator. And those people may never lease an owner operator because they don't feel comfortable. They don't feel that the benefit outweighs the risk for them to do so. You know, and you can't be too eager or too quick to grow in the name of money, because what happens when you do that is you might end up making a rash or a bad decision that actually ends up hurting your company. You know, I'm not going to go into specifics of what I do with my owner operator. But anybody can ask my owner operator.
In half a mile,
You know,
take exit 62 for Maryland 75 South, Fort Hyattstown.
he will tell you that he contacted me through some mutual friends of ours about becoming an owner operator underneath my authority. And my exact thing that I told him was,
take exit 62.
I need to watch you. Because he was already in the business, so I knew he knew about the business because he was already in the business.
In a
He was
quarter
working
mile,
for
keep
another
left at the
company.
fort. Follow signs for Maryland 75 South, Monrovia.
But I wanted to see how he worked. I wanted to see his work ethic before I decided to bring him on, because I wanted to see if whatever percentage I was taking out of him, I wanted to see if it was worth my time. If he went out and had an accident, you know, would that be worth my time or worth the percentage
left at the fort,
that I'm
then
getting
turn left onto Maryland 75 South.
So I think it was about a year that, you know, I followed him on Facebook, saw what he was doing, saw that
turn
he
left
had the
onto
grind,
Maryland 75
he had
South,
the
Green
hustle,
Valley Road.
you know, he was ambitious, you know, he had all the things that I consider qualities in myself. So that's when I decided to go ahead and bring him on as an owner operator. I didn't just reach out and say, hey, you know, why don't you come work for me? I had to feel him out. You know, I get emails, Facebook messages and stuff all the time about leasing on guys. And I tell them all the same thing. You know, let me see you work. Let me watch you work a little bit before I decide whether or not you are worth working under me. Because I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this company. And I don't want anybody, you know, I don't even want myself to ruin what I've accomplished. So I'd be damned if I want somebody else to do it, you know, by just hiring anybody. And I mean, you see it all the time. If you go on like some of these Facebook groups and stuff, you know, you see leased owner operators who dropped a load and put a bad taste in the customer's mouth, you know. And the same goes for company drivers. You know, you can't be too eager.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Maryland 75 South, Baldwin Road.
You can't be too eager to hire somebody, whether it's a company driver or owner operator, in the name of money. You know, I see it all the time, and majority of the time, it does not end well. I'm not saying that that's going to happen to you if you have an owner operator or you decide to get an owner operator. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but you just have to be extremely careful. I can't stress it enough. You know, I was in business for 3.5 years, I think, and solidified some pretty good customers and solidified my name out there as, you know, somebody who gets the job done before I even thought about getting an owner operator. And honestly, I never thought about getting an owner operator until my owner operator contacted me, and then I started looking into it. You know, in my opinion, I think that sometimes it may work out better having an owner operator than a company driver. Like I said, there's some advantages and disadvantages to both. But in the position that I'm in, I just don't feel like putting somebody else in a truck of mine. And the reason for that is, you know, nobody is going to drive my vehicles like I do. Just not going to happen. It's very rare that you find somebody that treats your equipment like you would treat it. So that's why I have a tough time going out buying
Turn
another
right onto
truck
Maryland 75 South Baldwin Road.
and putting somebody in it. It's a lot easier for me, for somebody who already has their own equipment.
In a quarter mile, continue straight onto Baldwin Road.
Just because I don't have as much skin in the game as I would if it was my equipment. You know, now, like I said, some people may disagree with me, and I'm not saying at the end of the day, you know, later on down the road, of course I'd like to have some company trucks. But right now, I just feel like having owner-operators is the way to go. But I'm not going to have 15, 20 owner-operators just to try to make some money. That's not me. I don't want to put my company, the risk out there.
Continue straight onto Baldwin Road.
For that, you know, I'd rather have a few guys that I know well enough
in a quarter
that
mile,
have
turn
stake
left onto Intercoastal
in my
Drive.
company. And that's the way that I, you know, that's the way that I treat my owner operator. You know, I treat him as if he isn't an employee, but more like a partner. Because if you give them a little stake in your company, you know, the odds of them messing something up, because it's their name too, you know, it's their company also. You know, if you run it like that, guys will be more susceptible to doing well, you know, not cutting corners, because they have stake in the company.
In 1,000 feet, your destination will be on the left.
They want to, you know, ultimately the company's success is based off of their success, and they want to succeed. So giving them a little bit of leeway and stake in the company, you know, that goes a long way. You know, I don't force dispatch. I don't do any of that. You know, I let him dispatch himself. He pretty much has free reign. You know, I don't call him every day to nitpick something. You know, I basically just call to BS, you know, and that's it. So that's enough of that, probably. I'm sure you guys are probably tired of me talking about it. But, you know, I just see a lot of...
Your destination is on the left.
I see a lot of people, you know, I see a lot of people. I don't know if I can get in here. This is where they want me to go. I'm going to go down here and turn around. I see a lot of people who are really quick to get company drivers or owner operators, you know, and I just wanted to put it out there, you know, for you guys to be careful, you know, when you're doing that, so that you don't hurt yourself, you know. Like I said, when I make these videos are for you guys, you know, and I don't want anybody's business failing because of some advice that they took from me, you know. So I do my best to keep it honest and try not to steer you wrong, you know. I'm not saying don't go out and get company drivers, don't go out and get owner operators. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be careful, you know. Be extremely careful when doing so that you limit the risk that you're putting yourself in with either a company driver or owner operator. So let's see if we can get turned around here. And I didn't really see a truck entrance in that place up there. Kind of looked just like a parking lot, so I'm not too sure where they want me to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna get off of here, make a phone call and see where they want me at, and I'll get back with you guys. All right, everybody, so we got dropped off. It was pretty quick, you know. Undo the 3 straps. They came and picked it up with a forklift, signed my paperwork, and I was out of there. Was in and out in like 10 minutes. And so we made it back to the yard. It's a good thing that we left out of the customer when we did, the drop off when we did, because they ended up having some sort of hazmat accident on Interstate 70, like right where I got on the interstate. And they had it shut down in both directions. So we missed that by, literally minutes. And I drove a hour and a half, an hour 15 minutes back to the yard, and from what I'm hearing, it's still shut down in both directions. So glad that I dodged that bullet, because definitely didn't feel like sitting in traffic today. So, like I said, we are home. Just to reiterate a little bit about what I was talking earlier, you just can't be too eager to add to the company in the name of money. You really got to sit down and weigh out your risk benefit, because you don't want to get too big too fast and lose it all because of a bad decision, or because somebody else other than yourself. So just be careful in that aspect. Really do a lot of research if you're getting a company driver or an owner operator. Really dig deep and look into that to make sure that they're the right person for your business.
Apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
Siri just talking for no reason. But yeah, don't be too eager to grow and end up getting the wrong person in your business that messes things up. I would hate to see that happen to any of you guys. So whether you take my advice or not, that's on you. I'm just going off of some of the things I've seen. I haven't personally had somebody that was an owner operator of mine mess anything up, so I can't speak for experience there. But I have seen a lot of people get company drivers or owner operators that end up making their business go bankrupt, where they close the doors. So I don't want that to happen to any of you guys. So just be mindful, be smart when you're doing that. So, but we're going to get out of here. Hope everybody has a great day. And as always, stay prayed up, grind hard, and stay humble.